Well, hello there. I'm the producer from Banner and Chance here with another surprise show. You just never know when we're going to pop up next. Earlier this week, Tim had a chance to sit down with KorocDM. KorocDM is an artist and fan of ours who creates maps on commission for fantasy worlds. Check out this artwork from the Stilton Docks. Stilton Docks was a location from our 15th episode, Acrimony and Cheese. Very nice. You'll have to watch the episode to find out the many secrets hiding within this fantastic and highly detailed map. Well, we're thrilled to have fans like KorocDM, and without further ado, here is our interview. We hope you'll enjoy it, and I'll see you again right afterwards.
But I'd like to get your reactions to the show generally, and you've been a really loyal supporter to us, Korok. So
the reason for that, I really love the show. I think that maybe it's a bit slower in the first part than in the later episodes. But what I love about the show is that it's not so sluggish as so many other D&D streams out there. It's like 2 hours, and you have really condensed and really a cool story, and the atmosphere is on point, and I really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've helped make that atmosphere possible, especially in a few of our later episodes when we featured your map for the Stilton Docks. That was fantastic, and the fact that you put it together just without being asked or just spur of the moment was just really kind, and it meant a lot to us.
I just saw the map on stream, and I knew I had to do a fan art version of that. I loved doing maps and making fantasy maps, and I thought, my one of my favorite D&D shows, I have to do a map for that.
What's your favorite part? What about cartography and map making really does it for you?
I'm a dungeon master at heart, and I really like to make maps to take my visions that I have for the game and make it more accessible for the players. So in my games, it is a rule of mine that everything the players can see on the map, they can interact with it and use it and do stuff with it, because I really enjoy when players come up with crazy plans involving the environment and their surroundings. And I like to think about what would a player do if they were on this map and having a game or such.
Besides the Stilton Docks, if I just sort of point it back at Banner and Chance for a minute, what was an episode where you had wished we had used a map, or you saw us getting confused where a map would have made all the difference?
I think in most episodes, Theater of the Mind works really great. But I think for the Prison Break episode, a map would have been nice to just envision. Okay, how is this prison arranged, and where's the trouble? Where's the exit? Where do we need to go now? And then like the little open space outside where they can fight, and where they had this crazy fight with the bull. And that would be cool. I would have liked a map for the forest ambush as well. But that's just because I like forest maps. I think in general, the fight went really great with Theater of the Mind.
That was a tough fight to control. I mean, for myself, having to get used to operating a game within 2 hours and trying to control these really heavy, really difficult mechanic interactions, I've had to employ and learn a few different tricks, and a couple of them would be not to try to track stats and everything on every little minor foe, to try to treat them more in waves and be a little more forgiving. Otherwise, it's just so slow, right?
But I think it really works great for the show format, because I'm not the kind of viewer that really enjoys like watching Critical Role and focus on the battles, but because I want to see the character interactions and the flair part, and how the way you do combat, it's really gives us the best of both worlds, because we have a little bit of combat and of tension, and of excitement, and but it is presented in a way that is really, really enjoyable to watch.
What was your, if I can ask, what was your most memorable episode that we've done so far?
Oh, that is hard. I thought about that for a while now, and I think the most memorable one was the fight between Rogar and the brother of the Minotaur he killed in the prison, where all the where the names and I forgot.
Yeah,
the
so we had the
names.
High Harvestress, we had Sand Krulik, we had Jaren the Werebore, we had Commodore Warthollow, which was the brother of Captain Warhollow.
Yeah.
And they were all in the middle of that at the Grey Cloaks camp. Yes,
The Grey Cloaks, that was the name I was searching for. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I loved the that everyone was going up and down, and then these sleeper agents, I think that's the good way to describe it, attacked, and everything was in chaos. And then you had these two amazing characters having these amazing battle, and I really like that Rogar was like, no, I need to do this on my own because he deserves it. This was such a cool moment. I really, really enjoyed that.
Where Runt stood aside and said,
Yes.
"All yours,
Yes.
Big Daddy." Yeah,
Yes, that was so cool.
it's an interesting interaction that's drawn up between Runt and Rogar, and so much of it happened before episode 1, and so I think we're going to take a few steps back and we're going to try to really bring out some of that backstory.
That would be great.
Because they've had it.
I'm really interested in the dynamic between Rogar and Runt. I love that because Rogar is such an honest and upstanding member of society, rule-abiding and honorable, and then you have Runt, who is like really chaotic and mischievous, and yeah, I think they're really a great couple for tension and drama and character interaction. And I loved it so far, and I'm really excited for what's to come.
If you think about the main characters, and we'll stick with the main 4 that we've seen so far. So Kane is on hiatus right now, and that's played by Aiden. And then we have Luna playing Geen, we have Brad playing Rogar, and we have Shady playing Runt. Could you just spin around those characters and tell me, what do you think is the most notable aspect of each of them? What would be the word that you would choose to describe each of them?
One word. That is
or
really hard.
Words,
Okay,
short
words.
statements.
I can do words.
Sure.
I love how Geen interacts with this strange, unfamiliar world, because she comes from so far away and has to learn these. You really notice that she's not from here, that she's not from around. Every time there's a tradition or something like that. She really conveys the feeling that it's something new for her, and but that she's so determined to save her sister, or to get to her sister, and to try to make sense of everything what's happening. I really like that, so I would go with determined for her.
Determined, excellent.
Rogar, I think what I like most about him is that he's so righteous in a way, because I think he does that really in a way that is not comically or over exaggerated, but I really like the nuances that he conveys in the play. Then with Runt, I like that she's like a wild card, and that she's that sometimes she just do stuff like, I robbed all your when she danced with a dude in the tavern last episode.
Yeah.
And not in the last episode, but I think the episode before that.
Right.
And she stole all his stuff and gave everything back except for some stones.
Buttons.
And stuff like buttons. Yeah, it was the buttons. And I really enjoy that, because it's like, okay, why the buttons? But now I'm wondering, why is she keeping the buttons? What is her reasoning behind that? And that's so much more interesting to me than, I'm a rogue, I have to steal something. Oh, money. Yeah, I take all the valuables. But, and I'm really interested in what the backstory of Runt is, because she sleeps under the bed, and It was several. There were several scenes in the in episodes where people mentioning her talking in a certain way, and I loved the interaction where she just straight up walked up to the goblins and said, "Hey, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to do that." And tried to boss them around, and it nearly worked. That was so cool.
And it's a 14-year-old blonde-headed street urchin girl, right? To see her walk up to an orc war chief and tell him what's what. Great. Any memorable, or what would be your impression of Kane?
Of Kane, I like that he's like I want to do good, but he's like a bit clumsy about it. That he doesn't really know how to actually achieve what he's aiming for. And I think a scene that really stuck with me for that was when he tried to go up to the barber shop where Runt was in, and Geen just spun him around and kissed him to confuse him or to get his attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really this scene really conveys what Kane is. That I know I want to get there, but then I get distracted, and but that's another thing that I really enjoy. Kane is a great character to interact with Geen, because I like the tension between both of them, and how both of them have this synergy to bring out their backstory, because Kane was in search of his uncle, of Burkle, and Geen of her sister, and then they notice that both goals actually align, and that they have to find they have to find Burkle, so to get a hint where Geen's sister might be. And then the revelations that came with that about Geen's sister, that was pure gold, and the dialogues between both characters was so cool to listen to.
Let's go there. What were the key revelations that stick in your mind about the show so far? And perhaps for each, the question that for you is unanswered, that you want to see some closure on those revelations.
One big revelation that I actually have not had not expected was that Geen's sister actually worked with the bad guys and did all this horrible stuff to Burkle, and that there was I'm really excited to get to know more about that. What is happening there? Why is she cooperating? Was she corrupted? Is she controlled with some magic, or is she really just an evil person? Okay. That's really something I'm interested about. And I think the other thing that really interests me is actually the backstory between Kane and not Kane, but Rogar and Runt.
Yeah,
how they got together and created this bonding. That's something I really would like to see more in the future.
Great. Well, I think we're going to be able to accommodate you. So one thing I'd like to say is just it surprised me when we had so much support coming from halfway around the world. So the fact that we've got somebody like yourself listening from Germany, taking the time to watch the shows out of the archive, being so, it's a lot of fun talking to you, whether it's over Instagram and you're contributing to the show. So that just really means a lot to myself, and it means a lot to the rest of the crew. So one more time, I just want to say thank you for that, because it makes a big difference when you're getting positive feedback.
It's a pleasure, and I know how great it is to get positive feedback, especially from the internet and people that enjoy what you're doing. But I have to just to say I tried out a lot of D&D shows, because I really enjoy listening to some D&D while I'm making maps and create maps. And the Enter and Chance is something that really stuck with me, because it has such a good quality to begin with, because a lot of D&D shows start out and they are like, okay, we just record our D&D sessions like we play, and you have no indications which player plays what character, and I always have to go back to the first episode where they introduce the characters, because they only introduce them in the first episode, and then you have no interface where you see the names, no quick recaps, which person plays which character, and the audio quality is like you have people with like their gaming headsets, and that's it. And in Banter and Chance, it's such a good quality. The audio is on point. The introduction is always really cool, and you have the interface where you can just look at and see, this is Runt. Runt is a human rogue. And
I mean, all that is thanks to our producer, and he does such a fantastic job and spends a lot of time every week passionately setting that up and crafting the soundscapes and putting together special surprises for the group, like when we had the entering of each other's minds with the Pevik episode with the Myconid. And
that episode was one of my favorite.
Yeah.
That it was so cool. I really love that mindscaping thing.
Yes, and he's just so money on that. So perhaps as we wrap up here, why don't you just tell us what you've got going on and how people can find you, and who do you serve, and what are you excited about in your own pursuits?
I'm creating fantasy maps on Instagram, and I'm open for commissions. So if you need a custom map, or if anyone out there needs a custom map tailored to their needs, just write me a DM. Besides that, I really enjoy D&D and world building, and I have a YouTube channel actually, and I put out videos there about said topics. At the moment, I only succeed to upload every second week. But I started actually live streaming too, and I live stream map making. So if you're interested in that, drop by. I love to interact with the chat and to build a map together with the chat. And yeah, these are the two things that I do most. Actually, at the moment, I'm working at my first map pack for Patreon. So. That there is like a special pack of maps out there. So,
well, that's fantastic. So, one last question, and then I'm going to let you go. What's your favorite type of character, race, and class to play?
Ooh, that's hard. But I think my favorite kind of character in D&D is a Drow Warlock. Because I really love Drows, and especially playing a male Drow, because I really like to get in the mindset of a person living in a matriarchy. I think that's really interesting, and I really like interacting with warlocks, because like you're having a Patreon, and what is the price of power? And
that's right. Yeah, having to serve that patron. Here's so. I think we could have room for a Drow Warlock. I think maybe one night, if you drink lots of coffee and get your sleep the night before, maybe you'd be willing to roll in with us sometime. It would be a very early morning for you, or very late night. I think it would be.
I think I would prefer early morning.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will. It would be excellent to see, to have you come on board and see what you would do with the characters and how you'd interact.
It would be a real pleasure to do that.
Excellent.
I would like that.
Well, KorocDM, it was a real pleasure to talk to you. And
yeah, you too, Tim.
Thanks so much for taking the time, and I hope we can do this again real soon.
Oh yeah, I hope that too.
Fantastic.
Okay, then I'm excited to watch the latest episode tomorrow.
Yep, it'll be our watch party, so I think you'll have a lot of fun. Can't wait to get your feedback. Okay, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon, and we're out. So great. Well, thanks so much for.
All right, well, there you have it. You can find KorocDM on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and OnlyFans. Well, I'm kidding with the last one. I think. I didn't check. Anyway, check out our first live watch party where our cast reacted to their favorite moments from the first season. You can catch the replay on Twitch and YouTube. Thanks again to KorocDM for sitting down with us for this interview. Don't miss our next show where we are introducing 2 new players and their characters. I'm the producer. You're watching Banner and Chance, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.